tonight on CTV News at 6. Wildfires continue to burn out of control in the Northwest. We have an update on evacuations and active fires in Northern Ontario. Plus, an unfamiliar sky.
Look at the clouds. Look at this smoke. You can taste it, you can see it.
Reaction as smoke, haze, an orange hue, and ash blanket northeastern Ontario. And baskets are being filled with a blue bounty.
Usually I buy more than 100 liters during the season, even around 150 liters.
Blueberry season arrives in Sudbury. We find out how this year's crop is growing.
CTV News at 6 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Northeastern Ontario has been covered in smoke and in some cases ash today, and it's made for an ominous looking sky with an orange hue. Environment Canada has issued several alerts today. One is a warning for heat and the other is a warning for air quality. Maximum temperatures near 29 degrees Celsius are once again being felt, with air quality expected to improve tonight. For now, it's recommended to limit time outdoors and consider reducing or rescheduling outdoor sports, activities, and events. Communities like Elliott Lake have even offered free N95 masks from the fire department to anyone who must spend a prolonged period outside. All of this is being caused by heat and humidity combined with forest fires burning in northwestern Ontario. There are nearly 200 forest fires burning in all of northern Ontario. But of course, as mentioned, the bulk of the action is to the west, including Thunder Bay, Fort Frances, and Sioux Lookout regions. And video coming from that region is truly shocking. The dramatic scene we showed you yesterday of the train being overrun by wildfire near Armstrong has the union representing the train's operators speaking out today. The Teamsters Canada Rail Conference is commending the crew's professionalism and quick response, saying the team saved lives. The train was supporting evacuees from Armstrong when it was overtaken by the wildfires. Everyone escaped safely.
Many things can go wrong in a situation like that, and that's why, as the union represent those engineers and conductors, those who are operating the trains, we're more than concerned right now. We will get to the bottom of this, that's for sure. This morning we spoke with Transport Canada. They're very concerned as well, and they're gonna investigate this incident.
Meanwhile, CN said in a statement this morning it has temporarily suspended rail operations in that area as a precaution because of the fires, saying CN remains in close contact with the Ministry of Natural Resources and local authorities as the situation continues to evolve. The safety of our employees, the community, and emergency responders remains our top priority. And as fires continue to threaten communities, Ontario Provincial Police say several areas are under evacuation orders, including Armstrong, Collins First Nation, Lac Lacroix First Nation, Gull Bay First Nation, Lac des Mille Lacs First Nation, and White Sand First Nation. OPP also say areas of Highway 599 and 527 are closed in both directions, again in northwestern Ontario. Those fires caused air quality issues across the province today. In Sault Ste. Marie, poor air quality canceled amenities and prompted warnings for people to avoid going outside. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has that story.
Scenes throughout Sault Ste. Marie come with a haze courtesy of forest fires from northwestern Ontario and the United States. For a few, the smoky atmosphere brings back particular memories.
I have fought forest fires decades and decades ago, and this morning reminded me of out on the line.
Though busy areas like streets and parks are thinner today, many who are out are taking precautions.
I got to wear this mask because I have COPD and it's just brutal out. The air quality's terrible.
The air quality also forced the city to close down all splash pads and pools, with all outdoor sporting events at city facilities also being canceled. City workers that remain outside are masked, as are a number of private contractors.
My lungs right now, just talking to you, you can feel that heaviness. Like, you could see it. Like, where's this hot weather we're talking about? But look at the clouds. Look at this smoke. You can taste it. You can see it.
Also to note, a layer of ash that many vehicles were covered in this morning.
So we should be wearing respirators right now, okay?
From a medical perspective, the current conditions pose minor issues that can be exacerbated by prolonged time outdoors.
Even if you have no underlying health issues, you can experience symptoms like cough or throat irritation. And for people who are vulnerable, this can certainly cause a number of problems from breathing issues to heart issues.
With noxious gases like nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and ozone, Dr. Liu says every precaution should be taken into account.
Surgical masks and N95 masks are good for particles, droplets, but they do not protect you against the noxious gases that are in the air as well. So again, the best protection is to avoid strenuous activity outdoors, limit your outdoor time, and if you have to be out there, a mask can provide some protection.
The orange air quality warning for the Sault and St. Joseph Island is expected to last until tomorrow evening. The district's medical officer of health says in addition to simply staying inside, people should ensure their doors and windows are closed tightly with their HVAC system set to recirculate. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
And while much of the smoke is coming from the west, fires here in the northeast are still burning. CTV's Eric Tashner takes a closer look at the fire map for our region and where resources are headed.
Of the 37 forest fires burning in the northeast, 2 are not under control, 3 are being held, 4 are under control, and 28 are being observed. Ontario Forest Fire says 10 new wildland fires were confirmed in the northeast Tuesday. The largest is Timmins 9, a close to 3,200 hectare blaze southwest of Timmins that is now considered under control. As parts of the province smolder, Ontario Green Party leader Mike Schreiner was touring the Carling Fire Department to see their wildland firefighting equipment and to discuss how local fire stations are dealing with more forest fires.
Every year when the Ontario budget comes out in the spring, including this year, you see a cut in the budget for wildland firefighting. We need to have fully funded crews.
He suggests the province launch a forest fire management and wildfire prevention program to protect communities.
Make the proper investments we need in wildland firefighters, ensuring they get fair wages, ensuring that they have proper PPE and equipment and training prior to our firefighting seasons.
There have been close to 150 active wildfires in northwestern Ontario this week, many of which are out of control, and they are impacting fire resources within the Ministry of Natural Resources. The MNR confirming that 4 crews of fire rangers were deployed from the northeast region to the northwest region on July 13th, in addition to the 12 crews already deployed there earlier this month. The MNR says the current fire hazard in the northeast is considered high to extreme, with a small area of moderate hazard near the Ottawa Valley. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
As mentioned, it's that heat and humidity that's locking the smoke in place in our region. So when will temperatures dip and help to clear things up a bit? Let's get right to those details with CTV's Tony Rima.
Thanks for that, Marina, and good evening, everyone. Let's take a look at our weather alerts. As Corey Nordstrom mentioned, Sault Ste. Marie along with St. Joseph Island, in fact, Gore Bay along with Wawa in the orange zone. So air quality warning in place. That should come to an end either Thursday evening or Friday. For the rest of the broadcast region, especially in through Sudbury, North Bay, Parry Sound. You also have an air quality warning there. However, it's yellow. That is supposed to come to an end tomorrow. Cross our fingers. We'll have more weather details later in our show. Marina.
Thank you, Tony. Satellite images captured by the European Union's Copernicus Sentinel-2 program give a different perspective on the wildfires in the northwest. The images show thick plumes of smoke rising from wildfire zones around Collins First Nation, the dark plumes stretching across the region, a striking look at just how large and intense the wildfires in northwestern Ontario have become. And before we head to break here on CTV News at 6, let's take a live look at conditions in Elliott Lake. You can see the sky is still heavy with smoke. On a clear day from the fire tower lookout, you can see as far as Manitoulin Island, but that definitely is not the case today. We'll be right back.
Win your way in to Boots and Hearts with CTV and Pure Country, August 7th to the 9th, Burrells Creek, Ontario, featuring the Jonas Brothers, the Chicks, Rascal Flats, and more. Win a pair of weekend passes, including camping and parking. Enter today at ctvnorthernontario.ca.
Timmins Fire Services are battling a blaze on McLean Drive at a local scrap metal business. The fire broke out at Triple M Metal this afternoon. The city of Timmins posted on social media saying fire crews have the blaze under control, but are still shuttling water back and forth along McLean Drive. The public is asked to avoid the area while crews work to extinguish the fire and investigate the cause. The RCMP says it has dismantled a Northern Ontario-based synthetic drug lab in Sturgeon Falls. This after search warrants were executed June 18th on multiple residences in the community. RCMP officials say they have charged 7 people following an investigation and seized more than $550,000 of suspected controlled substances. The news comes a few weeks after the RCMP were seen working in Sturgeon Falls along with the Ontario Provincial Police, York Regional Police, Niagara Regional Police Service, and the Ontario Fire Marshal. The accused have been charged with several offenses in the case, including drug trafficking and drug production. Our digital team has a full news article written on this story. It's posted at ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. The Ford government is planning to eliminate a rule that allows Toronto area MPPs to expense hotel stays in the city under special circumstances. The move comes after several ministers from Toronto have faced backlash for billing taxpayers thousands of dollars in hotel rooms in the city. CTV's Siobhan Morris has details.
With hotel bills from several government MPPs shooting past $100,000, the government House Leader has moved to eliminate the rule that made them possible. It was intended to help members who live close to Queen's Park in an emergency, like a snowstorm. The opposition leader insists a rule change doesn't undo the past.
These members just simply saw that policy. They understood what it was for. All of us do as MPPs. And they chose to abuse it.
It's an exciting time in Ontario.
Public records show the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Transportation racked up the biggest bill since 2023. Hardeep Grewal, who represents Brampton East, billed taxpayers for over $27,000. Nina Tangri from Mississauga Streetsville had almost $19,000. And Charmaine Williams of Brampton Centre has been repaid close to $16,000. We told you yesterday the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Gaming was paying back $16,000 in hotel bills, including $6,000 in just a month.
There's no excuse for this behavior. And again, I'm happy if they prove me wrong. Show us the receipts.
The Liberals say they're willing to work with the government on eliminating the rule, but previous bills have to be explained.
This motion is really an attempt to bury something that the taxpayers absolutely have a right to know about.
Stephanie Bowman suggests the Auditor General or Integrity Commissioner may need to weigh in.
I mean, I'm a chartered accountant by background. I would say that this kind of policy is rife for abuse because it is not specific enough about when it is allowed to be used.
Well, who could ever have thought this was a good idea?
Former Ontario PC leader and Toronto Mayor John Tory says all the rules about MPP expenses may need a second look.
It isn't just about partisan damage. It's about damage in the institution and damage in elected representatives. And I'm a great believer in the good the system can do and in the goodness of the people who are in it. And this doesn't help.
A spokesperson for the Premier says any expense that did not meet the intent of the rules will be reimbursed to the legislature in full. But she offered no explanation of who would make that call or how. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A man is facing impaired driving charges after a crash last night in Timmins. This after police say one vehicle ended up in a field behind a French Catholic school. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Those are tires.
Timmins police say 3 people sustained minor injuries after a collision at Ray Street North and Jubilee Avenue West. It happened around 7:45 Tuesday night. Police say a vehicle failed to stop at the intersection, struck another vehicle, and continued onto school property. This footage was taken by a passerby after the crash.
One of the vehicles spiraled and rolled into the field behind Sacred Heart School, obviously causing some damage to the property and throwing some debris from the vehicle in the area. This is a pretty extensive motor vehicle collision. It's not something we see normally in the city of Timmins.
Bukowski says speed appears to have been a factor, but details of the investigation cannot be released at this time. An adult male has been charged with impaired driving, dangerous operation, and driving while under suspension. Police say his identity cannot be released until the charges have been sworn before the court.
We're very thankful. Given the circumstances, this could have been much worse. Given the time of day and the location, the schoolyard and soccer field behind, we're very fortunate that no further injuries were reported.
Besides the suspect, the 2 other people hurt were a passenger in his vehicle and the driver of the second vehicle. Police say the investigation is continuing and additional charges may be considered. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Well, despite the smoky air and extreme heat, blueberry season is in full swing in the Sudbury area. Pickers are out in the bush and vendors are along roadsides. And we met up with the blueberry guy who set up along Highway 69 South today. Here's CTV's Alana Everson.
Tony Sleva and his wife Joanna woke up at 4 a.m. Wednesday and made the 4-hour drive north from Brampton to Sudbury to buy wild blueberries. They have a long list of recipes, and this trip they bought 18 liters of berries.
My wife, she makes pierogies, and we make some jam, and I mix them with the yogurt.
Sleva has been buying from the blueberry guy for over 20 years and makes several trips each summer.
Usually I buy more than 100 liters during the season, even around 150 liters. So the taste, and I know they're very healthy, so antioxidants, so for my health with my age if I eat them, so I recommend to everyone to eat them. But also it's fun to pick on their own, it's not like the farm blueberries.
Art Choquette has been selling blueberries for over 50 years. That's why he's known as the blueberry guy.
We had a weird spring, very, very cold. It delayed the berries, I figure, about 2.5 weeks. But according to some of my pickers, we may have blueberries into October.
Choquette says it looks like a strong blueberry crop this year, but not as bountiful as the years before regreening in Sudbury.
It was fine to regreen, but they could have left the blueberries in certain areas alone. By liming all the hills, they've reduced the quantity of berries and the places to pick. So we're not getting the same amount of berries that we had in the 70s and 80s.
Sleva says he will be back soon to get more berries and will bring his friend some of his homemade blueberry liqueur. Alan Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, if you are also a blueberry lover in Sudbury, the community is being invited to celebrate the return of the Blueberry Festival at Red Oak Villa on St. Anne Road this Saturday. Events include a blueberry pancake breakfast, live entertainment, a vendor's market, a pie eating contest, and remarks from the mayor. The beloved Blueberry Bear will also be on hand. Back we go to Tony now for a check on the current conditions this Wednesday evening. Tony, how are things feeling out there tonight?
Marina, a little cooler than yesterday, but still on the warm side. Let's take a look at our current temperature, shall we? In through Timmins, 25 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Much the same for Cochrane, Moosonee, a little cooler, which is refreshing. For Kapuskasing, 27 degrees, 28 in through Chapel. Much cooler for Wawa, 17 degrees. Sault Ste. Marie, it's hazy, smoky out there, 18 degrees at this hour. For Parry Sound, much the same too. That's smoke from the wildfires in northwestern Ontario, also hitting that community. As we head north, North Bay, mix of sun and cloud, 25, same temperature for Timiskaming Shores. In through Kirkland Lake, mainly overcast, 26 degrees. For Sudbury, well, smoke conditions, 26 degrees. You can smell it in the air. For Espanola, 27, a little cooler for Elliott Lake. And Gore Bay at this hour, 21 degrees. I'll have your 7-day weather forecast. You don't want to miss it later on our show. Marina.
That's for sure. Thank you, Tony. Next on CTV News at 6. As WestJet flight attendants vote in favor of a strike, what will this mean for summer travel season? And how a Sudbury business is celebrating National Hot Dog Day. That's coming up. Another night of strikes and attacks between the United States and Iran. The U.S. has officially reimposed a naval blockade on Iran to punish its economy and ramped up its airstrike campaign on targets in the country and near the crucial Strait of Hormuz. The latest wave of American strikes lasted 7 hours. U.S. Central Command says the strikes are designed to weaken Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping and civilian crews in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the American strikes killed at least 7 soldiers and wounded more than 260 people across the country. Iranian state media says attacks were carried out on American targets in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain. All this coming after President Trump issued a new threat last night.
We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
Days of back and forth strikes by the U.S. and Iran have shredded the interim deal to end the conflict that's now lasted 4.5 months. A multi-million-dollar cross-border cocaine smuggling case has been thrown out by a judge in Windsor, Ontario, over how the truck driver was treated by border service officers.
The courts cannot condone these types of egregious charter violations.
Harinder Saini was facing serious drug importation charges after authorities alleged he had $13 million in cocaine hidden in his trailer. That charge was never proven in court. Saini was first detained because he had $10,000 in undeclared Canadian cash in his possession when his cab was searched at a secondary inspection in October 2023. Saini's lawyer argued his charter rights were violated in 7 different ways. The judge agreed, saying the most egregious was that Saini was subjected to a fully naked strip search without a good reason to do so. The violations happened before 120 kilograms of cocaine was found in Saini's trailer. Just in time for one of the busiest travel weekends of the year, thousands of WestJet flight attendants could soon be walking off the job. They voted overwhelmingly today in favor of strike action. CTV's Andrew Johnson has the details and how it could affect you.
Canadians could be thinking, here we go again. Last summer, it was Air Canada flight attendants on strike. Now their counterparts at WestJet could ground planes as soon as August long weekend. The vote wasn't even close. 99.4% of WestJet flight attendants indicated they're in favor of a strike. More than 4,400 cabin crew members represented by CUPE could legally walk off the job August 2nd. It's estimated up to 75,000 passengers per day could be affected if that happens, which is already on the minds of travelers today at YVR.
It sucks for the travelers, for sure. But I mean, there's also other airlines they could book with.
I'm on the workers' side. I was a Teamster for years.
The union says the main issues are wages, unpaid work, and working conditions. Specifically, CUPE says WestJet flight attendants work on average 35 unpaid hours a month, including during flight delays on the tarmac and during boarding.
The last thing we want to do is go on strike. That's the absolute last thing we want to do. We don't really have a choice. We need unpaid work addressed.
That's the same beef Air Canada flight attendants walked out over last year. They are now partially compensated for work on the ground prior to takeoff. WestJet's CEO says the airline is determined to reach an agreement, and he's confident in finding a workable outcome. If you're flying WestJet around August long weekend, it'll be tough to plan ahead for this. The union only has to provide 72 hours strike notice, so passengers won't know until the end of July whether their relaxing summer vacation could instead go sideways. Andrew Johnson, CTV News at Vancouver International Airport.
And there's more news ahead, but first, your full weather forecast with Tony Rima and more on the weather alerts, heat and smoke in the northeast. Tony.
Thanks for that, Marina. Yes, let's start with our alert map, and still that air quality warning in place for Sault Ste. Marie, St. Joseph Island, along with Elliott Lake. That should end Thursday, maybe even into Friday. And of course, the yellow, that's in place for Sudbury, Parry Sound, parts of North Bay, and that should come to an end tomorrow. As we take a look now on our systems map, we're being influenced by a low pressure system, warm front, cold front, and also high pressure that's coming in behind. As a result, it's kind of going to make way for this one, the high pressure, as it builds into the broadcast region, and temperatures are going to gradually come down, but we're going to get some clearing skies. Depending upon where you live, you may get the odd shower or two, but it might even be cloudy, depending upon also which part you live in the northeast. In through Sudbury, 16 degrees overnight. Smoke prevails on this board. A chance of showers for Timmins and a risk of a thunderstorm, 14. Temperatures still on the warm side as we head on over to Moosonee, 7 degrees, a chance of showers. Cap and Hearst, 13 degrees. Wawa also experiencing some smoke there. Gore Bay, same thing. Partly cloudy for Parry Sound overnight. Let's take a look at your 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. Tomorrow, well, mostly sunny, 23 degrees, should be 25 this time of year. Temperature hits that mark on Saturday. That continues Sunday. We start to get some clearing Monday. The work week, next week, shower activity, 25 degrees. Temperatures not all that bad though. 24 on Wednesday, mostly overcast. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma tomorrow, well, overcast conditions. You'll still smell the smoke though. That should come to an end, as I said, Thursday into Friday. Saturday though, 40% chance of rain. Temperature on Sunday, 25, when it should be 24. Next week, Monday, overcast, more precipitation. The rain continues on Tuesday, some sunny breaks though, and on Wednesday it looks beautiful at this point and a little cooler, 22 degrees. We'll take that, won't we? And we head now to Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 21 degrees. Nice cool down there. Temperature starts to tick up a little bit. Increased cloud cover and a chance of rain on Saturday. On Monday, back to the showers. Tuesday, we get clearing. Wednesday, a little bit more cloud cover. 22 when it should be 24 for this time of year. For Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, mainly sunny for the next few days. Temperature improves Saturday, Sunday, but increased cloud cover, a chance of some rain. And next week looks soggy to start, much better midweek. Finally, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Mainly sunny tomorrow, 24 degrees. Temperature improves on Saturday. A chance of some rain, though. Some clearing on Sunday. Next week, though, spot on temperature wise, 25 degrees, but the rain is going to stick around. Tuesday also going to be a soggy day, and Wednesday, well, mainly overcast, coming in at 23. And our picture of the day comes to us from Monica P. in Thunder Bay. She sent this to us and she said this was taken yesterday. The orange sky as a result of all those wildfires and the smoke. Thanks very much, Monica. By the way, we'd love to see your weather pictures. Send them to us at weather.pictures@bellmedia.ca. You're watching CTV. More news still ahead.
Many of us make purchases every day buying products and services, and before we do, some of us will check online reviews. But you should know many of the reviews you see could be fake. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
The fake review problem in general is so much worse than most people are really aware of.
Kay Dean is a former U.S. federal investigator who founded Fake Review Watch. She contacted CTV News after she noticed fake reviews being posted for a Toronto window company. Whoever was posting them was using the names of famous actors who don't even live in Canada.
The scammers are using the names of celebrities, which is just absurd. Bruce Springsteen, Tom Hanks, Lauren Bacall.
It's an obvious red flag if you see that Jack Nicholson, Denzel Washington, Matt Damon, Julia Roberts, or Al Pacino all took the time to leave reviews about windows and doors. CTV News contacted the business, which claimed, "Our window company has never instructed, authorized, or knowingly engaged anyone to post fake reviews or create fake business listings on our behalf." Dean says fake reviews are rampant on the web.
This is just a snapshot of what's happening routinely on Google.
We also reached out to Google, which said our policies clearly state reviews must be based on real experiences and information and do not allow reviews or ratings that have been paid for.
But this has definitely impacted my business, and as well as other businesses in the area as well.
A man we'll call John asked us to shield his identity. He owns a computer business in the Toronto area and says his main competitor is using fake 5-star reviews. He says he's losing customers and that Google should crack down on fraud.
At the end of the day, when a business is buying reviews to outrank visibility against competitors in the area, that's just unfair.
Dean says Google is making money on fake reviews and needs to do more to stop them to create a level playing field.
My advice to consumers is go back to the old tried and true method of getting your information by word of mouth, not to rely on reviews.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
If you've ever worn contact lenses, you know finding the perfect fit isn't always easy. But researchers at the University of Waterloo say they've found a way to create custom contact lenses in just 20 minutes. CTV's Andrea Hollick explains.
So you can see the process.
Layer by layer, this customized contact lens comes to life in a matter of minutes.
Just take it out.
Made with the help of a 3D printer and a team of researchers at the University of Waterloo.
Printing these rigid, or sometimes called hard contact lenses, which requires a lot of personalization.
Hard lenses are different from the more common soft contacts. They're specialized for complex prescriptions and can last up to a year. But personalization often means more money and more time spent at the eye doctor.
Currently, the rigid contact lenses are around $500 to $1,500 a pair.
The team says it hopes to cut costs to 1/10 of that price and time it out to just 20 minutes.
Hopefully, with this printing, we can just deliver the perfectly fitted hard contact lenses in one shot.
And let's have you put your chin on there.
The process starts with a scan of a patient's corneas.
Even with astigmatism, the cornea will look different in certain spots, so it will have deeper portions where it's supposed to be flatter, or it'll have flatter portions where they're supposed to be more steep.
A file is then sent to a computer program that sets up the shape of the disc. A silicone formula is applied to the printer, and with the click of a mouse, the countdown to a customized contact lens begins.
After printing, we need a coating, and we just use UV light to cure it until it is hardened.
The materials also undergo a vigorous safety screening.
We need it to be good with our body, our body reacts with some materials that are not they're toxic to our body, so we don't want it to be like that.
The plan now is to refine the research and patent the product.
Right now, I'm not telling it's completely perfect, but yes, hope so soon.
For people who've struggled to find a comfortable fit, this tiny lens could mark the beginning of a much clearer future. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Waterloo.
Youth mental health organization Compass, which offers free services to youth, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rainbow District School Board in Sudbury. The MOU will see the school board provide youth in Compass's new live-in treatment program receive education. The program, called Step Up, Step Down, will operate out of the Cyril Varney Public School site and provides youth ages 12 to 17 with live-in mental health treatment options for up to 6 months. It's Tim Hortons Camp Day today, which means money from coffee purchases support their summer camp program. Our friends Josh and Coop from Pure Country Radio, as well as some counselors from Tim Hortons Memorial Camp, were at the Tim's on Notre Dame Avenue in Sudbury today. Not only are coffees giving back today, but purchases of bracelets, badges, and Camp Day donuts are also included in the fundraising efforts. Over $13 million was raised on last year's Camp Day nationally, and one camp counselor says every donation makes a big difference.
Previously, I was a camper before I became a counselor, and it really does help, especially kids from low-income family, to be able to experience things that they can't normally experience, such as leaving home, like a quick, nice vacation, but also being able to make more friends and build your social skills as well.
I think it's a great course, right? Just to come down, get a coffee, and that it is a small thing. When we look, it is a small thing, but it's going to help a child is getting a chance to go for a camp to understand his potential, because we have many workers over here who have been to camp and they say it's like a wonderful experience.
And Tim Hortons Foundation camps have supported nearly 350,000 underserved youth throughout its history. Tomorrow morning, our friends at Pure Country will be broadcasting their 7th annual Care-a-thon in support of Maison McCullough Hospice in Greater Sudbury.
A lot of people don't know that the hospice here in Sudbury is not fully government funded. They get partial funding, but the rest has to come from the Sudbury community. So that's why campaigns like our Care-a-thon are so crucially important. And so we're trying to raise as much money as we can every year. At least $100,000 is what we shoot for. This year, a little bit more, just because operational expenses have gone up as well at the hospice.
Last year, the Care-a-thon raised an impressive $1 million in support of the hospice. Coop says they're riding that momentum into this year with hopes of raising as much as possible to help with the hospice's budget. More than 60 healthcare workers and volunteers support end-of-life care at the Maison McCullough Hospice. Donations can be made online or by phone at 470-HUGS tomorrow from 6 a.m. to noon. And still ahead here on CTV News at 6. Selling refreshments for a cause. A pair of young friends in Sudbury takes a new twist on the classic summer lemonade stand. Stay with us. It was quite the gathering in Haileybury last night as the Royal Canadian Legion celebrated its 100th anniversary.
It is my honor to join you as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Haileybury Legion Branch 54.
To mark the occasion, Legion officials unveiled a time capsule that was buried back in 1986 as part of its Diamond Jubilee. The Legion's president helped unveil items that had been perfectly preserved, such as beer rationing coupons from 1944. The items will be put on display for the week so the community can see the history for themselves. Work will also start on reburying the time capsule.
There's letters addressed to the president, to our executive. There's, like I said, beer coupons. There's a magazine from 1926 that was put in the time capsule. The time and effort that they took is just inspiring.
And other items included a letter from the Haileybury mayor at the time, who has since passed away. While most 11-year-olds are spending their summer break playing and relaxing, 2 Sudbury girls are getting a head start on business. This weekend, they're setting up a refreshment stand with a mission to learn all about entrepreneurship while supporting local charities. CTV's Amanda Hicks has the story.
It started as a simple afternoon playing outside. But for friends Mary and Abigail, a mutual interest quickly evolved into a mission to help those in need.
We both figured out that we both like cooking, making drinks. And yeah, we figured that we can make our own little business.
This Saturday, the 11-year-olds will be serving up refreshments at their booth in New Sudbury. While the drinks are free, they will be collecting donations for 3 charities: Pet Save, the HSN Foundation, and the Sudbury Regional Tree Fund. To make their stand truly unique, the duo decided to share their heritage.
We thought of Peruvian drinks with some Nigerian drinks, like Zobo, and my drink, that's chicha morada. That's from Peru, and Zobo is from Nigeria.
While the girls are the driving force, their initiative has sparked a beautiful connection between their families.
Girls made the moms connect. They are good friends, best of friends, and as a result, the moms had to come together. I believe we are good friends now. So, yes. One chain effect led to another.
I'm proud because they came up with this idea. They want to share. It's not about profits.
Throughout the process, the girls say they have learned business and teamwork skills, but also what it truly means to give back.
It makes me feel very happy and excited because I know that all the charities that we've been helping, that we're going to help, is needed for the environment and for the people and for the animals.
You should just be kind and loving and give them something without assuming they'll give it back to you.
Mary and Abigail will be set up here outside the United Pentecostal Church from 12 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, where you can expect music, a raffle, and of course, lots of refreshments. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The last FIFA World Cup final this afternoon saw England taking on Argentina. Argentina was the favorite to win over England today, and when they did, they advanced to the FIFA World Cup final with a 2-1 victory. They won the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. Argentina will defend their title against Spain Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock in the FIFA World Cup final. You can catch all the action right here on CTV as well as TSN and Crave. While soccer is at a fever pitch, the ice is calling for many sports fans. The NHL has announced the opening face-offs are September 29th with a couple of all-Canadian matchups. The Toronto Maple Leafs will host their longtime rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Vancouver Canucks will face the Edmonton Oilers. And new for the upcoming season, teams will each play 2 more games for a total of 84. The full NHL schedule will be released tomorrow. In entertainment, David Daniel checks in on new film projects featuring a couple of Canadian heavyweights. Here's tonight's Hollywood Report.
Hey, come on! Not without a star.
You ready for this?
No.
Here's your first look at the action comedy Mayday. Ryan Reynolds is a U.S. Navy pilot shot down in Russian territory during the Cold War, and Kenneth Branagh is the American culture-loving ex-KGB agent who tries to help him. Mayday lands on Apple TV September 4th.
Heard a rumor that you were back.
Pedro Pascal plays the cello in the first trailer for Behemoth, described as a love letter to the music of the movies and the people who make it. Olivia Wilde, Eva Victor, and Will Arnett co-star. Behemoth opens in theaters December 4th.
I was born by the river.
Jennifer Hudson captivated people attending Jesse Jackson's memorial in March. Now she has another big performance coming up. The EGOT winner is set to sing the U.S. national anthem before Sunday's World Cup final in New Jersey. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Bank of Canada is holding its key interest rate right where it is at 2.25%. The central bank also expects the Canadian economy to improve despite growth that has flatlined over the past 18 months. The bank's new monetary policy report released this morning warns that uncertainty driven by U.S. tariffs and the war in the Middle East could knock potential growth off course. In tonight's business news, we have more on WestJet's flight attendants voting in favor of a strike. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
More than 99% voted in favor of a strike, which could happen as early as August 2nd. WestJet has 4,400 flight attendants. The union that represents them says flight attendants do about 35 hours of unpaid work a month and that wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Both are issues on the table. WestJet CEO says the airline is determined to reach an agreement with workers. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.22 U.S. West Texas Intermediate up to 79.60 U.S. a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to 64.89. And the TSX gained 95 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold is up $11.33, closing the day at $40.6387 U.S. an ounce. Silver dipped 84 cents, copper down 2 cents, and nickel down a nickel, ending the day at $7.44 U.S. a pound. Tony's back now with one last look at the weather and a focus on Thursday.
Thanks for that, Marina. A little cooler tomorrow. Let's check out our forecast, starting with Sudbury. 23 degrees, mostly sunny in through Timmins. Clouds are going to clear, a little cool. 21 compared to the temperatures we have been used to. Sault Ste. Marie, overcast, smoke from those wildfires in northwestern Ontario. 22 degrees as we head on over to North Bay. 24 degrees, mostly sunny. Plenty of sunshine for Parry Sound. 27, and into Miskameen Shores, those clouds are going to clear, coming in with a daytime high at 22 degrees Celsius. Marina.
Thank you, Tony. Well, finally for us tonight, National Hot Dog Day is celebrated on the third Wednesday of July, and one Sudbury business is taking its love of hot dogs to new depths. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Dog! A local tattoo shop is sharing their love of dogs through a hot dog flash sale.
Anybody who knows me, anybody who's ever been through here knows that I love tattooing food, and especially hot dogs. I could eat them all day long, I could tattoo them all day long, so we figured what better way.
That love is felt by the community, as Studio 613 Electric Tattoos is fully booked today for unique hot dog tattoos designed by Bourgeois for the special occasion.
It was spontaneous. I love flowers. All my other tattoos are flowers, and the hot dog just tied it all together.
Regardless of who we are, or how we think, or what condiments we prefer, I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, we're all one big pack of dogs.
Bourgeois says they're going to be adding the unique stencils to their mystery claw machine, letting people show their love of hot dogs at any time of the year.
It's for fun, and life is short.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
That's all the time we have here on CTV News at 6. Thanks for watching. Good night.